Hello guys, I am back with another episode. There is a message that I want to share with you guys. The following message that you're going to be listening to, it comes from a translation of a message that I received as a WhatsApp voice note. Then I had to ask one of our admins to give us this translation. The translation reads like this. Hello brother Nashi, how are you? Can you please post my story as anonymous? I am a married woman. Yes, I am married, and I am married to a man whom I can say he is financially stable. I lack nothing in my life. Whatever I want, that man makes sure that he provides for me. And whenever I ask anything from him, he tells me that he is going to try and to provide for everything that I would have asked from him. According to him, he says that he got married to a goddess, to an angel. That is why he wants to spoil and to pamper me, but he does not know that I have a dark past. If only I could rewind the hands of time, I would go back in the past, especially the days when I was in university. Then I will erase and I will transform myself, because when I was in university, maybe it was because of my beauty. I was uncontrollable, brother. I dated a lot of men. The men that I can say I dated from my high school years until I graduated at university, they are about 20. Those are the men that I dated. And I am not counting some of the men that I would regularly meet up when I will be walking in town, or maybe just walking in my hood. And those guys would ask me to go and have a sleepover with them. I am not counting all of those men. I think that at a very young age, that is when I became more like a sex addict. Because what I'll do is that after sleeping with another man, immediately I would contact another man, because I was never satisfied. Even up until today, I am still trying to get control of my body. What I do is that whenever me and my husband have finished having sexual intercourse, I'll pretend as if I have fallen fast asleep. And when he is asleep, that is when I will wake up. Sometimes I will go to the bathroom so that I can please myself. I actually even bought myself a toy. What I do is that when my husband leaves for work, I'll take out my sex toy so that I can please myself. The reason why I bought this sex toy, it is because I do not want to cheat on my husband. I am trying to be faithful to him, but it seems as if my body is used not to sleep with a single man. Even when I am walking in town, I'll be looking around, just lusting after each and every man that will be looking at me. Sometimes I even avoid going to town, because every man, when I am walking, they will try to approach me. They say that I am so beautiful. Every man that approaches me, the first thing that the man would tell me is that I look more like an angel. I don't know, maybe it is true. So when I got married to my husband, it was more like a dream come true to me. And I even made my parents to be proud, because the man that I got married to, his parents are pastors. This is the reason why I am trying to be faithful to him, for the sake of his parents, because I do not want a scandal whereby people will be gossiping about me cheating on a pastor's son. He is really a good man, but I didn't know that my past, my dark past, will follow me. And when this dark past of mine finally caught up with me, there is no happiness in my marriage. Financially, I am happy, but I can see that this whole thing, it seems as if it is stressing my own husband. Yes, I am a graduate, but when I got married to my husband, he is the jealousy type. He said that because of your beauty, I am afraid that if you go to work, maybe other guys out there are going to steal you away from me. I don't know what is wrong with me, my brother. I do not blame my husband for being the jealousy type, because there is something about my body. Even though me and my husband, we have been married for the past 6 years, and we have been regularly having sexual intercourse, but whenever we are in bed together, my husband just loses control. He cannot even last for more than 2 minutes. And when I ask him why he can't even last for more than 2 minutes, he always complains about my body and my eyes. He says that there is something about my eyes that is so seducing. Whenever we are doing the deed, he always tell me to look at the side, because he says that whenever I look at him, that is when he will just ejaculate, even when he wants to last longer. Back to my university years, whilst I was in university, I lived a very bad life and I had several abortions, my brother. And when I count the babies that I aborted, there were 10 pregnancies that I aborted since high school. When I went to university, the first thing that happened to me is that I started dating this other lecturer. And it was the one who made it to be possible for me to graduate, because on most days I will not even attend school, but he was making a way for me to pass. If it was not for that lecture, I could not have graduated. And I did this because I wanted to graduate. And the reason why I aborted a lot of these pregnancies, it was because the kind of guys that I was dating, some of these guys, I knew that they were married men. And most of these men that I have dated, some, they were pastors, they were prophets, and some of them, they were local businessmen. And I was doing it because I was more like the hottest girl in campus, and everyone really loved me. I owned my first fantasy car when I was still at the university. The way that I got this car, it was because I was dating this other pastor. So I stopped attending the church where me and my parents were attending. Then I started attending his church, and he gifted me the car when I was dating him. Whenever I was with him, that pastor kept on telling me that he wanted to marry me, but I didn't want him to divorce his own wife. The reason why he wanted to divorce his wife, he claimed that his wife had robbed him because his wife was like 8 years older than him. And he kept on complaining that he didn't want to marry his wife. The reason why he said that he married his wife, it was because before they had graduated as pastors, for him to graduate as a pastor, he was supposed to get married. And the church organized for him to get married to his wife, and he never loved his wife. That is why he wanted to divorce his wife and to make me his own wife. But I didn't want, brother. He even wanted to buy a townhouse for me, but no, I did not want, because my own parents, they were financially stable. I just dated him. But when I saw that he was more obsessed with my body, that is when I dumped him. The day that I dumped him, he even sent me a lot of pictures telling me that if I was going to dump him, then he was going to commit suicide. But I just told him that if you want to commit suicide, you can go ahead. At that time, I was really wild. I didn't even have the time to negotiate with a man, because a lot of men were chasing after me, a lot of men that were rich. That is why I never had the time to negotiate. After that, I then met my husband whilst we were at this prayer convention. And when I heard that he was a pastor's son, then I fell in love with him. When I fell in love with him, I started fixing my past. And I thought that I had successfully fixed my past, because I broke up with all the guys that I was dating, including that pastor, and I returned back the car to him. Once I saw that I had cleaned up my messy past, that is when I decided to accept that pastor's son hand in marriage. And me and him, we really had a fancy wedding. Now it has been about 6 years in marriage without a baby. All along, he has been asking me to go with him to the doctors, but I have been refusing. The reason why I was afraid to go with him, it was because before I got married to my husband, in secret, I visited this other doctor. When that doctor told me that the chances of me ever falling pregnant, they were quite slim, I thought that it was just because he was a jealousy ex-boyfriend, because I had dated him for several years. But he told me that even if you go anywhere, the same answer that I have given you, that is the same answer that you are going to get when you go somewhere else. So all these years, I've been thinking that maybe it was because he was just a jealousy ex-boyfriend, because he also wanted to get married to me. But he said that he wanted to have 2 wives. He could not afford to divorce his wife. He said that we can make a plan and I'll become his second wife. So I had refused and I had broken up with him before he could even sleep with me. So I thought that he was just being jealousy. But I then visited another doctor. And when I visited another doctor, I got the same answer. As for now, I am thinking of visiting a Sangoma. This is what my other friend told me. She told me that please just go to these traditional healers. There is this traditional healer that she has recommended to me. That traditional healer is even here on YouTube. And she said that if you go there, yes, you might pay a lot of money, but he is going to sort out everything for you. My brother, as someone who was raised in church, I am afraid because this will be the first time for me to go and consult with a traditional healer. I am just looking for advice. As I have told you, for many years, I have tried so much. I have been fighting with my own body. It seems as if my own body was trained to lust after a lot of men, but I really love my husband. That is the reason why I end up pleasing myself. But what I need right now is advice. Should I go ahead and visit a traditional healer so that I can save my marriage? Dear listeners, right there was a message that I received. Then I had to ask one of our admins to give us a translation. Strange things do happen in this world. Please let us talk about this issue in the